Hey everybody, HMV here. Playing more Kerbal Space Program, and we are launching a big fuel ship to Ike. That is right. We've got 3 Terrier engines pulling 2 fuel tanks. This is the one that's draining, which is the wrong one to drain. Let's go ahead and up his priority to 0, so he drains first. Let's also transfer. Is that right? No. Let's go out of these guys. There we go. Then when this guy's out of fuel, he will we'll toss him aside. That's the idea. I think, yeah, I also have the possibility of him not ever running out of fuel, and we can do that. But yeah, this burn is going to take this guy out of Min-Miss's sphere of influence and out of Kerbin's sphere of influence and on its way to Duna. So not much to see here. This is mostly a get things done episode. We are going to try to fix the problem at Moho. I have 2 Moho fuelers. Last episode we had Moho fueler 2 on its way from Kerbin to Moho. I'm a little concerned about that guy, so I built one at Eve as well on the new Gilly base, and we're sending that one to Moho as well. I'm not sure which one will get there first because these mid-course corrections they don't have anything to do with getting to Moho. In particular, so not exactly sure what's going to happen with those guys, but I'll bring you along the whole time. Going forward, I'm still going to try to record as much as I can, but as I said before, when let me make sure I'm not going to crash into Min-Miss here. I'm not. When it comes up to the point where I'm deciding between recording and playing, I'm going to pick playing. And I'm also going to use the right keys here. I was trying to aim, instead of being on WASD, I was on ESDF, which are the totally wrong keys to be hitting when you're trying to steer your ship. But anyway, we are aimed at our maneuver node. We are heading on our way, and I'll be back in just a second. Oh, there's our connection. Okay, let's focus view on Duna. We just want to get him passing by Ike, ideally, in the correct way, which is over here. That's looking really good. Right around there we should be fine. Then we can fix the north-south at our mid-course correction. Looks good. Still got plenty of fuel in this thing, so we're probably gonna still have this when we get there. Okay, I believe this might be your first look at the Moho Fueler 2. One thing that this guy has on him is he has an ISRU unit. The idea here being that it's so hard to get enough fuel to Moho to make a difference, which makes me think that other ship was doomed. I think I didn't take into account landing, as I tend to do. So I brought this along because I can smack this on the top of the lander ship or on the front of the driller ship, and then he can create fuel on the surface. So as long as we can get that thing on the surface and land on the surface with the fuel this thing brings, we'll be fine. And if we still can't do it, the Moho Fueler 3 will just bring some more fuel. But as usual, we got another hefty burn here. And when the time comes and this runs out, I will be tossing these aside. But other than that, it's boring. I believe this burn's goal is to get us an encounter with Moho. It is. There they go. And if you're curious why I'm not using nuclear engines on this transfer, it's because I don't have them unlocked yet. I kind of jumped the gun on Moho. I really wasn't planning on going to it until I had fully set up the Duna and Eve bases, but the window came up and I said, hey, why not? And now I know why not. So yeah, see, we're coming in this way. Yeah, what I wanted to do was set up my Moho periapsis coming in, oddly enough, perpendicular to everything I want. That's about what I wanted here. And my idea here is to... This is not anywhere near where I want this maneuver node, so I'm just going to delete it. The idea here is to slow down like this. Oh, I'm coming in opposite the way I'm thinking I'm coming in. Okay, the idea here is to slow down like this. Incorporate that with a radial burn. So that we get an orbit that is, I don't want to slow down this much. I want to spend the least amount of fuel possible here. So that we get an orbit that is roughly similar to the ship that's already there. And then out here at our apoapsis, we can fix it. We can fix the orbit very cheaply and then get into an encounter with them. And a 4-minute burn is not the best thing in the world, but it's not going to be too bad. It's also 771 meters per second. We've got 5 grand, which is perfectly fine. Okay, let's go and hop to the Fueler 3 and check him out. Fueler 3 has a lot more fuel because he's not taking the ISRU unit, and he also came from Eve, which saved me about 1,000 meters per second. Other than that, though, it's the exact same ship. If you couldn't guess, there was a set of tanks with engines on them here, and I've just been asparagus staging them away as the time comes. Also, I added the structural unit here just because it looks better when you can't see the underside of those tanks. Technically, it adds weight for no gain, but oddly enough, I sometimes care about aesthetics. And staging away the drop tanks. Now. Okay, and I don't remember, but I think this is also a burn to get a connection with Moho. Yeah, we do have a connection with Moho here. And this guy has basically the same idea. Because I'm pretty sure I wanted the exact same idea, which is to put him at the periapsis here. And actually, he's got a much better... There we go. That's closer to what I wanted. I want him to come in here and right at this periapsis burn down and then fix it out there. Yeah, here it comes. Okay. Can I use RCS? No, I cannot. There we go. That should be fine. And then here, we are going to slow down to get into orbit. Okay, I'm going to see if I can edit this. Now, we can actually aim retrograde here. I'm going to see if I can edit this to be 5 minutes and if it'll remember. No, it changes it back to 3, which sucks. So let's add our own maneuver node alarm. A 5-minute window. That way it will it'll stop us before the time, because we want to burn more than 4 minutes ahead of time. Okay, I don't know exactly what's going on here. Why we're getting these alarms now when the node is 7 minutes away. But what are you going to do? It just looks so cool. Just got to hold this until we've closed the orbit. There we go. Terrible, terrible, terrible orbit, considering what we want to do, but it's the best we got. So out here, I'm going to add a maneuver node. I'm actually going to snap it. Oops. We're going to snap it to, everything's on top of each other. The relative ascending node? No, descending node. There we go. And then we need to go, let's see, this ship is rotating this way, so we need to burn this way? No, the other way. And then sadly, we're just going to have to do right here, I think. I have to change this to be roughly what we want. 118 and 179. Those are fairly cheap, so that's good enough. But before we get to those, it's the Moho Fueler 2's turn. Let's see if he can do a better job of getting into orbit with some fuel left over. Yeah, these alarms seem to suddenly be taking into account the length of the burn. They're supposed to. I'm not surprised that they are. What I'm surprised is that they are now when they weren't before. I haven't updated Kerbal Alarm Clock or anything like that, so there's really no reason why they should work now. But I'm going to take that as a good thing. Yeah, so we did a lot of the slowing down already to get the encounter, so that's why this burn is less than it should be. I think I'm going to cut this as soon as we're in orbit. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to stop it now. But the rest of the stuff is orbital gyrations, and there's no need to watch it all. I will come back when somebody is actually docking with the Moho station, or if the Ike station fueler actually makes it to Ike first. These orbits always take a while, so who knows what's going to happen. All right, off in the distance there, that's the all-in Moho. We have a encounter coming up. I've set up this maneuver node mostly to make sure that the game pauses at the right time. I had thrust limited my engine down. It's only now that I realize I did not put any burner engines on the front or the back, so I'm kind of stuck doing that. Nice. We're going to aim at target. Now, one thing I don't know is, will he continue to aim at target if I switch away and back? No, he won't. So we'll just have to deal with that. Let's set that as our target. Let's control from here. Now, he can't aim at his target, sadly. But we can do this. Should be good right there. Get ourselves heading forward. And RCS our way to victory. There we go. Very nice. And we have almost perfectly full tanks, which is always good. I think we're going to put it in these guys. Okay, I've transferred the fuel in. These guys are pretty full, but not perfectly full. Now, and I've put a tiny bit of fuel back in this guy. And we're going to detach. And we're going to see how many meters per second he has. He has 229, which should be enough. Add apoapsis, which we're almost at. Wow. Yeah, that's enough, obviously. He just needs to aim retrograde and burn a tiny bit, and he's going to deorbit. So, looks like he can do that right now. We could just do it right now, and I think we're going to. And he has a periapsis inside the surface now, so he is dead. And why not watch this thing crash? Just because we can. It is, after all, the first thing to come in contact with the surface of Moho. For better or for worse. And something survived. We didn't get credit for it, though. We didn't get credit for landing on and returning to orbit from Moho. And here we are coming in. Pretty simple dock, as long as I don't screw it up. Oh, should probably have fine controls on. Maybe coming in a little fast, but I have no way to slow down, so this is how fast we're coming in. You're as perfectly aligned as we can be. Usually got to bump it a couple times. Here we go. Come on, turn. There we go. Perfect. Now all we have to do is transfer this fuel into somebody. I guess we'll start with these three. Okay, these guys are full. These guys are full. And this guy even has some fuel in him, a pretty decent amount. And we've put a tiny bit of fuel in this guy just like before. We're going to undock from here, assuming it allows me to. Now this guy with 189 meters per second is going to, up here, run a very tiny bit negative just to crash him into Moho. Might as well make it nice and flat. Okay, we're actually already past our apoapsis, so I'm just going to do the burn. That should be perfectly fine. And he is now going to crash into Moho, and that leaves us with this ship here with only these engines active. So now we can finally get into an orbit. Let's see what it's going to cost here. So 310 meters per second. The estimated burn is NA, which is interesting, because these guys have fuel. I don't know why Better Burn Time doesn't know what the burn time is. It should be based on the engines that are running and the amount of fuel they have. Let me actually, I don't know. Oh well, we'll do the burn anyway. Gonna hit Z. There we go. That's really weird. It made the noise like it started the engines. Well, it's a 34-second burn, so we can just go ahead and go down to 0 time here. Let's also turn this off. Don't want my periapsis to go too low. There we go. We'll leave it at that. I think that's fine. Okay, let's check out the ore locations. And actually, I'm probably going to end it here. I'm going to decide where we're going to land, and then we're going to end it here. The whole equator looks kind of garbage. However, this looks pretty good. And this looks pretty good. I don't know. Does Moho face one face to the sun? Its rotation period is 56 days. Its orbit is 88. So no, it's more like Mercury. So we have very long days and very long nights. I think we're gonna try this or this. I kind of like the idea of being in a crater. So I think we're gonna land here, and we're gonna do that next time. I hope you enjoyed watching this. I definitely enjoyed playing it. I'm HMV, and I will, as always, talk at you later.